por casualidade, eu acabei acompanhando também os debates dos presidenciáveis republicanos, isso foi 2007 ainda, então eram as primárias dos republicanos, e foi lá que eu acabei conhecendo o Ron Paul. Já falei sobre o Ron Paul aqui, fiz um vídeo sobre ele, vou colocar o link aqui em cima, e a verdade é que o Ron Paul era talvez uma figura completamente isolada em todos os debates, porque o que ele falava destoava dos demais. O que ele falava, sobretudo em termos de política externa, era muito diferente. Mas na minha avaliação, no que eu entendia que era uma postura correta e sensata, para mim fazia muito sentido. Então as palavras do Ron Paul com relação à política externa americana, para mim foi o que primeiro me atraiu às suas ideias, e depois quando começou a falar também sobre a crise do dólar, política monetária, Federal Reserve, escola austríaca de economia, foi pelas palavras do Ron Paul que eu cheguei até a escola austríaca, mas foi primeiro pela política externa. E eu quero mostrar aqui um vídeo importante, porque esse foi um debate que ocorreu em 2007, maio de 2007, e esse foi um que eu estava na China no dia que ele estava acontecendo, foi em maio de 2007, e era madrugada na China, acho que era cerca de 4 ou 5 da manhã, por conta do fuso horário eu não estava dormindo, e acompanhei ao vivo esse debate, e lembro como se fosse hoje dessa cena que eu vou mostrar aqui para vocês, que tem a ver com a política externa americana. Então, vamos ao vídeo.
Congressman, you don't think that changed with the 9/11 attack, sir?
What changed?
The non-interventionist policies.
No, non-intervention was a major contributing factor. Have you ever read about the reasons they attacked us? They attack us because we've been over there. We've been bombing Iraq for 10 years. We've been in the Middle East. I think Reagan was right. We don't understand the irrationality of Middle Eastern politics. So right now we're building an embassy in Iraq that's bigger than the Vatican. We're building 14 permanent bases. What would we say here if China was doing this in our country or in the Gulf of Mexico? We would be objecting. We need to look at what we do from the perspective of what would happen if somebody else did it to us.
Are you suggesting we invited the 9/11 attack, sir?
I'm suggesting that we listen to the people who attacked us and the reason they did it. And they are delighted that we're over there because Osama bin Laden has said, I am glad you're over on our sand because we can target you so much easier. They've already now, since that time, have killed 3,400 of our men, and I don't think it was necessary.
Wendell, may I make a comment on that? That's really an extraordinary statement. It's an extraordinary statement of someone who lived through the attack of September 11, that we invited the attack because we were attacking Iraq. I don't think I've ever heard that before, and I've heard some pretty absurd explanations for September 11. I would ask the congressman to withdraw that comment and tell us that he didn't really mean that.
Congressman?
I believe very sincerely that the CIA is correct when they teach and talk about blowback. When we went into Iran in 1953 and installed the Shah, yes, there was blowback. The reaction to that was the taking of our hostages, and that persists. And if we ignore that at our own risk. That if we think that we can do what we want around the world and not incite hatred, then we have a problem. They don't come here to attack us because we're rich and we're free. They come and they attack us because we're over there. I mean, what would we think if we were if other foreign countries were doing that to us?
Can I have 30 seconds?
No dia seguinte a esse debate, que causou muita polêmica, porque, claro que o Ron Paul não quer dizer que sim, os Estados Unidos convidaram esse ataque, que é culpa dos Estados Unidos, mas sim que a política externa americana tem consequências não intencionadas, que é o que a própria CIA denomina de blowback, que é a presença militar, alguma incursão militar, acaba tendo efeitos indesejados, como, por exemplo, fomentar a criação de grupos terroristas nesses países. Esse foi o ponto do Ron Paul. E ele fez, então, no dia seguinte ao debate, uma coletiva de imprensa com o seu assessor especial de política externa, que na época era o Michael Scheuer, que é um veterano, já era um veterano da CIA, se aposentou em 2004, inclusive era o chefe da unidade que tratava do Osama Bin Laden e da Al-Qaeda. E nessa entrevista, nessa coletiva, eles explicaram de forma mais elaborada o ponto do Ron Paul. E eu, por fim, quero colocar agora um vídeo que é um discurso do Ron Paul, de 3 minutos, mas é importante para encerrar esse vídeo com as palavras dele sobre e se a mudança, se a política externa americana fosse outra. Então vamos lá ao vídeo aqui, vou botar as palavras dele.
Madam Speaker, I have a few questions for my colleagues. What if our foreign policy of the past century is deeply flawed and has not served our national security interests? What if we wake up one day and realize that the terrorist threat is a predictable consequence of our meddling in the affairs of others and has nothing to do with us being free and prosperous? What if propping up repressive regimes in the Middle East endangers both the United States and Israel? What if occupying countries like Iraq and Afghanistan and bombing Pakistan is directly related to the hatred directed toward us? What if someday it dawns on us that losing over 5,000 American military personnel in the Middle East since 9/11 is not a fair trade-off for the loss of nearly 3,000 American citizens, no matter how many Iraqi, Pakistani, and Afghan people are killed or displaced? What if we finally decide that torture, even if called enhanced interrogation technique, is self-destructive and produces no useful information, and that contracting it out to a third world nation is just as evil? What if it is finally realized that war and military spending is always destructive to the economy? What if all wartime spending is paid for through the deceitful and evil process of inflating and borrowing? What if we finally see that wartime conditions always undermine personal liberty? What if conservatives who preach small government wake up and realize that our interventionist foreign policy provides the greatest incentive to expand the government? What if conservatives understood once again that their only logical position is military intervention and managing an empire throughout the world? What if the American people woke up and understood that the official reasons for going to war are almost always based on lies and promoted by war propaganda in order to serve special interests? What if we as a nation came to realize that the quest for empire eventually destroys all great nations? What if Obama has no intention of leaving Iraq? What if a military draft is being planned for the wars that will spread if our foreign policy is not changed? What if the American people learn the truth, that our foreign policy has nothing to do with national security, that it never changes from one administration to the next? What if war and preparation for war is a racket serving the special interests? What if President Obama is completely wrong about Afghanistan and it turns out worse than Iraq and Vietnam put together? What if Christianity actually teaches peace and not preventive wars of aggression? What if diplomacy is found to be superior to bombs and bribes in protecting America? What happens if my concerns are completely unfounded? Nothing. But what happens if my concerns are justified and ignored? Nothing good.